The internet. It's pretty much everything that connects us together. It's the unifying fabric, our digital library. It's humanity's greatest work. And everything, it's funny that most people don't even know how it works, really. It's one of those things where we have our devices, we have our applications, and everyone goes about their day-to-day life, and we use this fantastic tool. But the plumbing and how it works and the challenges that are facing it is something most people are not aware of it, and I don't blame them. It's a lot of complexity that's underneath it. But the reality is, underneath the hood of the internet, there's quite some big challenges that have major implications for humanity. If we dive deeper on why, it's really, if you go back to the beginning of the internet, most people didn't know this is going to be this sensation that it is, with billions of websites and billions of IoT devices being connected to it in the future. And they had no way of seeing that. So it was built in this open structure. And because of the inertia and the rapid growth of it, things had to be done in a very centralized way. They had to build all these big warehouses full of servers and computers to basically service the internet. And by design, it got more complex and more centralized, and then started being consolidated and owned by a group of few tech giants. And that has a big implication on data privacy, on limitation of growth of the internet, because now it's such a big capital gain of entry to be able to scale this thing. So we have all these challenges that are going up now because of the internet's plumbing has sort of reached this apex point. How is it going to keep up with the growth of big demands like Web3, blockchain, metaverses, you name it? All these things are going to be a tremendous strain on how we deliver it. How do we maintain data privacy and sovereignty from these monstrous data ingesting machines? You have to think about it. When we hear announcements from big tech giants that they're going to launch certain protocols or experiences on top of their platforms, how is that going to be done? And is it going to inherit the older problems we have from the current internet, which is, again, how do we own our data privacy? Who controls our data? Where does it reside? All of that needs to be addressed when we talk about an internet. And for me, this is really one of the biggest passions ever, because it's a foundational technology what we're working on. We're talking about redoing the entire internet from scratch. And that's not some easy task. It's not something that I think can be done alone either. And we're very, very lucky that we've had some very early founders in the internet that are a part of this movement and have seen what we can do together to, first of all, look at the old way the internet was, which was this beautiful place. But second, what needs to be done along the way to improve the technological stacks to make it designed to serve humanity versus the other way around. And I think that's really important, because it's in our fundamental ethos that we built into the internet this blueprint of responsibility and making sure that the outcome of this internet is neutrality. Meaning that we build an internet that is basically a layer for everything. Anything with an IT pulse should be able to run on top of the threefold grid. And that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to work in a collaborative way. But first, you need to build a foundational layer that's neutral. And this is, I think, one of the most exciting things ever, because the ripple effect of something like this is tremendous. It can help take us from potentially a direction towards a dystopian society, which is powered by AI and capturing all our data, and we don't have control of our digital futures, to moving towards a potential fair outcome by saying, look, we are not going to build an internet that is siloed, that is centralized, but build one that's for the people, by the people, where governments, enterprises can deploy their own sovereign digital existences the way they want to. And I think that's super, super important for all of us to understand how it works, why, what we're trying to do, because we need to get involved with our technologies, because it's no longer the time where we can ignore it anymore. And I think it's such a revelation to people when they realize that they're not in control of their data, they're not in control of their digital lives. And then they worry about their children and their future. And that's what we're trying to hone in on. We're trying to say, look, let's together build this internet. Let's together help it spread in your country, in your home, in your school, as far and wide as possible, because we need a unifying fabric like this. And I am, along with the rest of our team and founders and all the partners we've amassed over the couple of years that we've been doing this, are all committed to making sure that we do this together. And I have to say I'm very excited, because when I look at projects like the ones we have amassed over the past 3 years, like the blockchain space, the reception has been tremendous. It's been, yes, all protocols should live on a threefold grid, because together we can both help better transactions, better smart contracts, better applications that are decentralized, that run on threefold. And they get it. We cannot go to centralized environments anymore to put our stuff on there. We need to find things that are localized, that live in a country, that stay within a country's parameters and borders and respects the digital sovereignty of the country. And we're really seeing a lot of meeting of minds on this subject, and it's a beautiful thing to really see come together. I'm excited about the future. I think where we are right now, we're at a pivotal point where we're about to go to the world after spending many years on the technological side, refining things and really doing tangible things in terms of showcasing a new internet model. And I believe the world is going to be, pleasantly surprised by how far we've come. And I'm looking forward to the potential of it being used. Obviously, there's a lot of unknowns in terms of what they call the, I forget the name of it, the technical term, but basically we don't know how it's going to evolve in the future. But as long as we put a good, respectful core blueprint in there, we know that this gives it at least a fair foundational chance to be something good for humanity.